My first pick for favorite gaming franchise goes to the Tales of series by Namco Bandai. As a Filipino gamer in the 90s, we were accustomed to the side scrolling platformers, beat 'em ups, and shooters that Sega and Nintendo were dishing out. I was not even aware that there are other genres of games out there, particularly Japanese role playing games. These games just did not reach us, and even if they did, it failed to catch on. So, when we got our first PlayStation 1 back in 1998, a game caught my eye from a shelf of our local gaming shop. It was Tales of Destiny for the PS1, originally released in 1997. The anime style drawings of the front and back cover piqued my attention, even more so when I saw the anime opening sequence. Back in the mid 90s, anime started getting popular in the Philippines, and I was one of those generations of kids that fell in love with the medium. So I was already hooked from the start. What made me hang on to it was the gameplay and story narrative that were foreign to what I was accustomed with for over the years. So Tales of Destiny introduced me to JRPGs, and I was hungry for more. I played Tales of Fantasia, the very first Tales of games released for the Super Famicom, and played it on a SNES emulator. Then I played Tales of Eternia for the PS1. When we got our PS2, I played Tales of Legendia and Tales of the Abyss. When we got our PS3, I played Tales of Cilia 1 and 2, Tales of Graces, then Tales of Symphonia 1 and 2. When we got our PS4, I played Tales of Zestiria and Tales of Berseria. And when we got our PlayStation Vita, I played Tales of Hearts. I have yet to play Tales of Arise for the PS5 though. Heck, I even bought a freaking Xbox 360 just to play Tales of Vesperia for the first time without knowing that it will be remastered for the PlayStation 4 after 10 years of its original release. So, what is it about the Tales of games? Aside from the anime motif, I like how the developmental team made sure that each playable character of each game was not portrayed as one dimensional, mostly. And it goes without saying that there are fan service that went to the character designs, which cater for both men and women players, and also giving them a distinct fighting style that can spice up the battles depending on how well you use them. In addition to the characters, I also like the romantic subplot of each game is trying to push. Some games are more blatant with their love themes, while some depends on the player's interpretation of what love is. My favorite love pairing is Jude and Mila for the Tales of Celia, and an odd choice is the pairing of Soray and Mikleo from Tales of Zestiria. If you played both games, you know what I'm talking about.
Mila, are you. Are you okay?
Jude, why would you do this?
I just can't stand seeing you hurt. I wouldn't do this for just anyone, you know? Don't you see that?
Jude, you idiot. Just look at them.
I also like to add that the Tales of games created its own unique audio theme and score that you can hear consistently throughout the series. It is part of their brand recognition, I guess. As the years went on, the game and combat designs have changed and evolved along with the console technology. The combat area design started out as a two-dimensional plane where your characters can only move left and right, run towards the enemy or run away from them. If you are within reach, keep pressing the attack button to land some hits with your weapon or magic. When Tales of the Abyss came out, the combat area has adapted a 3D rendered open field where you can move in multi directions, offering more versatility of your strategic fight against certain enemies. I mentioned that each game has its own plot unrelated to the previous games, maybe except Destiny, Symphonia, Cilia. Maybe Berseria, but that is debatable. If I am going to decide which game would be my most favorite and my least, I will be judging them based on which story that I had the least trouble paying attention. The top for me would be Vesperia. The bottom would be Zestiria. I love how pretty and sexy Judy looks in Tales of Vesperia, and as much as I am curious on the homoerotic undertones of Zestiria, I just wanted that game to be over with. A battle mechanic that is commonly seen in the Tales games is the use of mystic arts. They were initially meant to be used as desperation maneuvers to turn the tide of the battle when things are getting critical for the player. In fact, Namco Bandai only started using the term mystic arts officially when the Tales of the Abyss was localized in the US. There are Tales games that have something similar in function to such extent, but they were called something different. But regardless of what this move is called, what stays the same is that there are certain conditions that should be required before a character can initiate these devastating super attacks. Another recurring staple of the Tales games are the skits, originally introduced in the Tales of Fantasia, and these are extra dialogue between characters that can be triggered when prompted by the game. The skits themselves are optional for viewing, but they do serve some merits. The skits can tell you on what to do or where to go should you get lost or confused. The skits all provide further insight on the backstories and personalities of each character. Plus, the skit also provides some amusing banter between characters to perpetuate the bonds they share as teammates. Viewing these skits are not usually serve no significant additions or alterations to the main plot or the overall ending of the games. Another staple of the Tale series is the ability to cook and consume meals, snacks, or desserts before or after battle. The food successfully prepared will grant the characters various effects like recovering HP or MP, curing bad status effects, adding status buffs, and more. To prepare food, you need to search or buy the necessary ingredients, of course, scattered all over the world. A non playable character called the Wonder Chef can be seen in various Tales games that will grant the player the food recipes when successfully found by the player as he is hiding within towns and dungeons. In some Tales games, the character who gets to cook most of the time will raise its cooking mastery, which in turn can be used on a few subquests that involves cooking. Speaking of side quests, the Tales games are also well known to have a lot of side quests and backtracking, which will add more layers to the overall gaming experience.